Kojima Productions Report, show number 76, with host Mark McDonald here.
How you doing?
We're going to be kicking off another exciting show. Probably not 90 minutes this round.
No, a little shorter, but very exciting multimedia program we have today.
That's right. We have cameras in the booth.
Yes.
We have a Steadicam.
A big, serious, awesome camera. Having worked in video before, I'm very jealous. It's on like a... We were talking about it before, like from Aliens. You know, remember Vasquez has that steady cam she has for her huge gun. It's on one of those. It's pretty sweet.
Right. So we have a non-lethal version of that in the booth right now.
Right.
And it's very exciting. Lots of this whole week is
big time week.
I got to tell you, this has been the hardest week.
Yeah.
The whole year, actually, of 2008. It's been the hardest week.
Hardest week since you've been at Kojima Productions?
Since Portable Ops, it's been the hardest. Like this.
Okay.
Maybe E3, you can throw an E3 in there, but.
So why is that? What's going on?
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
What are we on? It's Tuesday here in Japan.
Yeah.
And it feels like Friday, maybe.
You're ready for the
Saturday
week to be
morning.
over.
Yes, I'm ready for the week to be over.
You're right.
Lots of stuff going on, like a lot of exciting stuff. But, you know, when three things are going at the same time, and then you put like four things on top of that.
Right. And also outside of the studio, the internet has been abuzz about several different things, some of which hopefully we can clear up here today.
I hope to clear some things up. But it's actually been very good that I haven't had time to check the internet, because that becomes distracting at times.
Right.
And
it's a full-time job just dealing with the amount of speculation and misinformation and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
It was for two reasons, really. It distracts me from my job sometimes, and also I didn't want to see the scores for when the Packers little redemption.
That's right.
Action. It was all because of those damn Packers. I ended up announcing what?
Yeah, 3 games, I think. 3 new games this summer.
Yeah, 3 new games coming out this summer worldwide.
Which is amazing.
Yeah,
because usually you guys put out, like a game a year if you're lucky, but apparently you're going to churn 3 out because the Packers lost.
Well, you know me, on my hammock with the lemonade, I thought to myself, you know what, Platypus Assassin would be very proud of me if I just called up and said, let's just promise, let's just do it.
Well, no wonder you guys are so busy this week. You got 3 games now that everyone heard about on the internet that apparently you're making.
So I got all these different links, like, why did you announce 3 new games? And it's like, they're links to Japanese sites.
Little Chinese telephone.
A little action there.
Yeah.
So just to kind of go back to what I kind of announced last week. I was hoping to announce something, because in the next few weeks we hope to talk about some different products that are coming out in North America. I hope to have some announcements if we bring these things to Europe or not. But first is North America, things that we've been talking about, some stuff that's been announced in Japan. Nothing really major. Don't get your hopes up too much. And I think I said that in the show too. But again,
well, that's the thing though with the internet in general, but also like I was talking about the Chinese telephone. It loses something just being passed from person to person, but then being translated to a different language. And I mean, you were very specific. You never said 3 games. You said what? 3 products?
Yeah,
projects.
Products.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean,
what can you do?
You choose your words very very carefully, especially when it's on stuff like that.
And people get lazy too, like writers for different sites, even English sites. Some people picked it up and they covered it wrong. So they probably didn't even listen to the show. They looked at the message boards.
It's still exciting though. I did see a lot of people speculated that got that it wasn't games, but just kind of talking about what it was. So people were talking about it. That was cool.
And some people got really close, and some people were right on. So there's some truth out there.
Interesting. The truth is out there.
Yes.
Well, and then the other thing this week was the demo. You guys must be busy on that
You're
too.
Right.
It's late apparently. It's supposed to be on PlayStation Network a couple days ago. Apparently,
I thought it was February.
Right. Well, Zone of the Enders 3, you have that coming out too. All right, so we got to stop and clear all this up because people might be stopping listening right now and typing away.
Right. Big announcements.
Yeah.
So I didn't prepare very good for this show. I should have like the proper magazine title, but I know it's a UK magazine. It's a PlayStation.
I want to say it's called PSU. Mm-hmm. Is the name of the magazine, and this is the same magazine that I think like a year or so ago said that Zone of the Enders 3 was being worked on, which is a rumor I had heard, but it was printed not as a rumor, it was printed as fact. And then this time it was at the end of an article. It was almost like a throwaway line, but it's scanned on the internet, and it said something about next month the demo whatever they played for their preview. They had a new preview of MGS4. It should be, or no. the
By
demo of it
time
will
this
be
thing
coming.
goes to newsstands, it'll already be out.
Yeah,
Right.
will be coming out. That was a letter posted later said, well, we were told by so and so that somebody in Europe that by the time you read this, the demo will be out.
Right.
And a lot of people got excited because the demo has been like the big question, right?
Right.
Everybody wants to know, but apparently that's not the case.
Apparently, it's not the case.
Yeah.
And we've had a history with this magazine. I mean, I've seen it before. They sent me an issue with that Zoe 3 article about a year and a half back, and they do good work. But it's funny because I remember I went through Konami Europe and contacted the magazine and said, look, no Zoe 3, I'm sorry. Sorry to disappoint. I think in their next issue they said, Kojima Productions emphatically denies it, but we've got inside information that disproves that. It was quite funny. So they're very adamant about their sources. Right.
But anyway, I think that does it for the FUD portion of the program, right? The misinformation.
There's like that in magazines too, right? You address all the mistakes or all you clarify certain things. Correction
right up front, yeah.
Right. And so that's what we do. We start out the show with that. We want to go into the mailbox a little bit after that, or pretty soon. But I was going to talk a little about MGO.
Yeah. A lot of people. Another thing people have been talking about, like just what's going on with it, like how's it going?
Well, still very much in development. We're going to announce what MGO entails, how it's going to be incorporated with MGS4 in that big announcement that I talked about, the Re-Emergence Day.
Right.
And so can't talk a whole lot about MGO, but you will be seeing previews of it in magazines and websites pretty soon, because we're going to start doing like a little bit of like a mini media tour in Europe and on the West Coast.
And what's been announced, the only thing that's been announced about MGO, because a lot of people were starting to talk about this too, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was at last TGS, they said MGO starter pack, and that's as specific as they got. Right. It was just like a bullet point on the thing is coming with MGS4.
Right.
It's not the online side of MGS4, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
But then more details about how exactly it's going to work and all of that.
Right. So
that's
what you're talking. What does starter pack entail?
Right.
Is that only the Japanese version? Is that coming out in Europe and in North America? All that stuff. We're going to just make everything as clear as possible, crystal clear. When we do that big announcement.
That's cool, yeah.
So just look forward to that. I don't want to preempt any kind of coverage that Konami US and Konami Europe is planning, but you will see some cool stuff hopefully in the next few weeks, maybe in a month from now.
Those guys are busy too then.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, the MGS4 is in media blackout, but not necessarily MGO. So we really want to show off the game because we're very ambitious and really excited about what we're preparing and things. So,
right.
We're going to be showing off some new stages to the press. It's going to be cool.
Cool. Right on.
Yeah, that's a good update. All right, so the Steadicam is heading its way out of the booth.
All right, farewell, Steadicam.
Farewell. It was nice.
All right, well, I think Ryan, I think, promised that I would have a list of things.
I have a tendency of doing that.
Yeah, a list of things that I wanted to have happen this year in gaming.
Your wish list of 2008.
My wish list of 2008. Yeah, like people really care about my wish list listening to this program.
Are you kidding me? No.
People care about your wish list, but I'm going to give them mine anyway.
Look, I have direct access to the mailbox.
Right.
And there's been an incredible response to you joining the program.
You get the mailbox unfiltered.
Yes.
Really?
I was going to send you a really funny message that came in last night.
Yeah.
That bashed some of your former colleagues, but prepped you up. And
really?
How it was a big coup that I got you on this program.
That's not in these letters anywhere?
I don't want to start any kind of,
Man, that's no fun at all.
We already have Mike Wilson and John Romero doing their thing. I don't want to have Mark McDonald and Mr. X doing it over this airwave.
I was reading that this morning. Man, epic smackdown. I mean, just ridiculous.
What a mess.
It's one of those things where it's like, oh, this is terrible. I can't believe this happened. But you can't look away. It's like
a train wreck.
It is. Terrible, glorious train wreck. Anyway, so yeah, my list for this year, it's a short one. It's not as thoroughly, I think, thought out as Ryan's, but I know I can kick it off with one that I know we will both agree on because I didn't even realize I wanted it until you brought it up. But no more companion cube and or cake stories on the blogs.
Please, God.
And I say this as a huge Portal fan, but just since this was 2 days ago, I think we were talking about it over the weekend. We were playing Portal.
We had a big party, huge sushi party. $120 worth of $30 worth of sushi.
It was incredible. Yeah, it was a great party, and somehow I thought you were joking when you turned on Portal, but people were into it.
Somebody had this idea. Why don't we play Portal? That seems like an interesting game. And then you thought it was a joke.
Yeah, I did. No, I was like, what is Ryan doing? There were like non-gamers there.
Oh, yeah, totally.
There were women there, women non-gamers there
right.
even. But it went over pretty well. But we got to the ending, and I think the people who had heard it talked up so much were like a little, oh, really? That's it? And you realized I think it got ruined for me by the blogs and the different news sites, because every day there was something
right.
like Companion Cube this, but
Cake this.
What was great about it was when it was kind of this little thing that you felt like it was just you or
right.
your group of friends. I mean, not to be like an indie rock kind of thing, but just because it's not pumped up like a huge part of the game.
Right. It's just gotten so embellished and overblown. Like people, it's a cool thing, right?
Yeah.
But there's a certain
all things in moderation.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when I saw it, you showed me the end, and
right.
I was a little underwhelmed.
Right.
Based on all the hype and
right.
all the talk of it ever since the game launched in November. So.
But still, and on its own merit, it's a great game, and still, I think it says something that like 6-7 people were in the room. Like I said, non-gamers, girls,
right.
girl non-gamers, and everybody was pretty into it.
Oh yeah, it was great. I don't mean to like bash the game or
right,
bash Valve or
of
anything,
course.
but it's more bashing the blogs.
Right. So that's my first wish is like moratorium on Companion Cube and or Cake Talk in a public space for at least like a month, and then we'll see how it happens. Because like I said, I started to say 2 days ago, we talked about this. I think there were 3 on like Kotaku alone. Not to pick out Kotaku, and obviously people want to see it or they wouldn't blog about it,
right.
but 3 in those 3 days alone, 2 in one day, 1 in the next. So anyway.
Well, we'll see if that happens with MGS4. Because there's nothing that's... some people, they gravitate to one issue, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's a good issue or a bad issue. In the sense of Portal, it's a pretty positive issue.
Right.
In the case of Mass Effect, it's a very kind of negative issue, like this lesbian sex scene, right?
Yeah.
Every time the media picks up on Mass Effect now, it's all about that.
Yeah, and shout out to Jeff Keighley for fighting the good
right.
fight against Fox
Big
News.
Backhand to not so much Fox News, but that psychologist they had on defending.
But Fox News as well. What we're talking about is this story that Mass Effect is, all this attention maybe you've heard of that Mass Effect is getting right now for its like 30-second, soft core, very polite sex
PG-13.
scene, quote unquote sex scene.
Right.
But Fox News was the latest to just play it up. And across the bar on the bottom, it just said, it's not the scroll, but the thing above that. It just said something like, I forget.
Box.
It said that, which was, of course, great. But then it says something like, explicit sex scene in video game or something like that, like
right.
full digital graphic nudity. They
right.
had these buzzwords that they came up with, and then in the intro to the piece, the woman just said all these things wrong. Right. The psychologist lady was even more terrible.
She was talking about.
She had a book to sell or whatever, but
yeah, it was pretty embarrassing.
So it's funny. I mean, Snake Eater had what did no one notice that? It had very implied sex. I mean,
oh yeah, and there's like the Peep Show in Subsistence, like the Eva Peep Show. You can take pictures of her in her bikini and stuff. It
right.
didn't become too much of an issue, but I think it has to do with there wasn't as many blogs out when Snake Eater came out in 2004. Now we're in a very different world. When 4 hits, it's gonna be interesting to see what people latch on to.
Really,
and in a negative sense and in a positive sense. I'm confident that the opening movie is going to be like the hot topic when the game first launches.
Interesting, really. The opening quote unquote movie.
Yes,
right.
So,
and I say that I really don't have any idea, just based on what you've said about it before. I'll be really interested to see it myself. But yeah, I think you're right. I think it's also more of a hot button. It comes in waves, this like video game violence, video game sex thing. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so we're way off in La La Land.
Where we are.
Back to my Christmas list, which is what people tune into this program
Let's
to hear.
What's number 2?
It's that cross-media bar for PlayStation 3, in-game cross-media bar for PlayStation 3, which apparently they're working on. Sony says, yes, we hear you, we're working on it. I want that, and I want the controller an idle off for the controller. So if you leave your controller for too long, it turns itself off so that it doesn't sap all its batteries.
Two nice wishes.
Yeah.
I wish were incorporated in the machine.
Well, and I say that as somebody who kind of railed against the constant PlayStation 3 updates because I thought they were happening just too often. But the reason that they were too often was because a lot of times I wasn't even getting like what I thought were important features. If I'm getting important features, of course I want those. And these are two of the ones I've wanted since it launched. So I want that. My big wish.
Can I stop you there before we go to your big wish?
Sure.
Because just talking about the updates.
Yeah.
In one of the, I think either the most recent one or in 2 updates back, they updated the visualizer, the music visualizer. I don't know if you checked it out or not. It's got the globe, like from space. It's got Earth.
No.
And it rotates around. It's a really cool model that they have.
No, but the previous PS3 visualizer was my favorite like thing to play music with. But yeah, no,
This one
sounds
is really cool. And so lately I just been ripping all my MP3s onto the PS3 hard drive at work. I was surprised on the debugging kit you can actually do that. You can still play music back because they disabled like the DVD playback features and the PS2 playback features. But music's cool, so I just ripped a bunch of different MP3s on there, and I play it. And then people walk by and they look at my screen like, "What are you playing?" And it's like,
people still don't know.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
And so we weren't really bashing Kotaku, but we were saying, the cake thing is a little too much, the Portal thing is a little bit too much. On the other hand, they were one of the few that actually had a story about this, saying, "Hey, did you notice that in the new update, it's actually more of Sony's fault. They should be really, really pimping this because it's a very cool feature. It's dope."
That's. Where did that come from?
From my friend Victor. We're bringing it back in 2008.
That went over. Yeah, that stuck out like a sore thumb. Like you didn't work it in. I don't think well enough. But so okay, back to my list. Resident Evil 5. I want it to come out this year.
Keep on dreaming.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have any insider.
Yeah,
it could happen.
It could happen. I mean, that's why it's a wish. Is because I kind of, if I had to guess, I'd say 2009, which everybody laughed last year when they asked the producer, like, "So what do you want for it?" It's like, "Oh, I want it to come out before like we're in double digits a year or something."
Right.
Everyone's like, "Oh, shit."
Oh no.
Right, exactly.
So to keep delaying your final big wish.
That was it, dude.
That was it?
I think so.
Okay.
No, I do have one more.
All right. Do you want to do it?
That's it? Okay. Yeah. So, and actually, I saw you have a letter kind of related to this. I want more. The Bionic Commando Rearmed trailer, they just showed it off this past week, and it looks kick-ass.
It looks really cool.
So good. And it's like, that is what I want more of. I want not only games released on Live Arcade, PlayStation Network, Virtual Console. I want remakes or give me something added on to the old game, preferably like they're doing, which is balls out, redoing the graphics, the music, staying true to the original, but having these new modes. I mean, they've already shown like co-op, which is something. He has like slightly new abilities and stuff like that. Who knows what the game's how it's going to turn out? But I'm excited as hell about this game 100 times more than if it was just Bionic Commandos coming out on Virtual Console, even if it was the arcade version or anything like that. So, hint, hint, Kojima Productions, wouldn't that be cool? Hint, hint, wink, nod, nudge, need a groin. Wouldn't it be cool to see more old games, re-released classics of popular series that are very popular now, re-released in downloadable form with like bonus goodies, revamped graphics, all that kind of stuff.
I'm not really interested in digital distribution. Yeah, I'm pumped for it, and like it looks great. And I was actually thinking, before playing the next gen or the new gen Bionic Commando, I wanted to go back and play the original Bionic Commando, but some games don't translate as well. I wonder, have you played it recently? The old school?
Not too long ago.
Nintendo. Does it hold up pretty well?
So he couldn't jump.
That's right.
Which was a little weird. I mean, the controls were, some people are going to swear by them, but the controls were a little weird just because it definitely took some getting used to. Just to get over a barrel, you had to, use your hook, but it got you, used to the hook. So I would say that the, all the concepts are there. It felt a little clunky, a little, definitely like the potential is there. Like, I think adding stuff like being able to grab guys before you just push them back, grab them, throw them, grab barrels, co-op stuff, like
it looks great.
And they're teasing like new, different stuff that we haven't seen yet that's also going to be added to it.
Very nice.
So yeah.
Well, it'd be really cool to do Metal Gear 2, Solid Snake in particular. Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake is a fantastic game. It kind of shows its age because it's super difficult, very unforgiving.
Right. And I mean, even like, what people, what people are saying and stuff like that. I mean, one of the brilliant things they did about that trailer was they kind of acknowledged the old clunky translation in it. Mm-hmm. But while still they're going to kind of fix the things, like you nerd,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, anyway.
Well, we would have to fix that with MG2 if we did it, for example.
But you'd still have to like get in like I Feel Asleep, and you'd have to work in those beautiful gems.
Solidar instead of Soldier.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah. So then that came up in one of the letters, right? I saw just glancing over them. Oh, from Ryan from USA had something about Bionic Commando. Just talking about it, saying that it's pretty much universally considered one of the most awesome things ever. Are the boys over at Koji Pro going to be watching to see how well this does?
Well, it's maybe it's bad timing that trailer hit because we're so busy. I doubt Mr. Kojima has had time to see the trailer. But I mean, definitely, once 4 is finished, we got to think about what we're doing next. And this is no promises, obviously, but I mean, this is obviously a trend in the industry.
Well, and that goes along with my Christmas wish that it does well, because I mean that we see more of them. Mm-hmm. If it does well, we're going to see more of them. It's like the Mega Man, re-release collection did really well, and then
HD Street Fighter 2.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. Hopefully that'll happen.
Yeah.
Let's get back to letters. So 7R from New Mexico says, I've recently been replaying the entire series with my girlfriend to both prepare myself for the glory of MGS4 and to introduce her to the Metal Gear universe. Though she's as much of a gamer as me, the Metal Gear gameplay is not quite her bag. I believe it's a testament to the fantastic universe that Kojima and the entire team has created. The Metal Gear series has become one of her favorites after simply watching me play through it. She's become just as immersed as I have been for years. We can't wait to curl up on the couch together with a bowl of popcorn and some Mountain Dew to experience Guns of the Patriots together.
So I brought up this...
Did you write this? Is this... What is this?
Yeah, it's Metal Gear Solid 4 powered by Mountain Dew. I brought it up for 2 points, actually.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to make another Mountain Dew joke, but all right, go ahead with whatever you're saying.
The drinks of the future.
What's that?
This is what people are going to be drinking in the future, Mark. You just don't know this. So I brought this up for 2 reasons.
Yeah.
It's I was intrigued by his choice of food and drink and beverage for when he's going to sit down and play Metal Gear Solid 4 for the first time.
Yeah.
So I have a very important question to the listeners.
Yeah.
Like when you rip off the shrink wrap of MGS4 and you sit down and play it for the first time, what kind of food will you have prepared?
Is there any, what this reminds me of is like the calorie mate in Metal Gear Solid 3.
Right.
Is there any weird
yes.
promo? Cool.
But I don't think you could probably curl up with that.
Okay.
Let's just put it that way.
Interesting. Nice hint. I'm surprised he says popcorn. I refuse. I won't eat popcorn.
Yeah, get the controller.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, you get the grease all over the controller, right?
So, I mean, how about you? When you know you're going to do a marathon session, do you pick up something beforehand, or you prepare something, or
no? Well, I usually stop playing the game and then eat and then go back to it because really undivided attention.
Not very exciting.
Yeah, but okay, drinks run the gamut, depending on if I'm having to play something for work or I'm doing it myself, or what time of day or something. Like anything from like a nice fine single malt to a cognac and a fine snifter and a cigar. No, usually Coke. I had the most boring answers probably possible, but yeah.
Well, I'd love for listeners to write in and write in what they're preparing and what they eat, because we have listeners from all over the world. It'd be interesting to see what we get.
Metal Gear party spreads,
right.
They need to have those at the supermarket. Like, prepare for your Metal Gear Solid 4 party with like Doritos.
Absolutely, and this is
Mountain
what we'll
Dew.
do. On the eve of the release, I want to see every single entry on Kotaku, because it's always food anyway. It's always like some kind of cake that people are building, like their entrees that they're getting ready for MGS4, the party mix.
I have a feeling you'll get some of those.
Let's start a trend.
I have a good feeling about that. But yeah, that is a good question. So send in your ideas, or maybe like what your ultimate food should be or would be.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. Now, playing just like kind of like playing Portal, which is kind of interesting to watch. We had 7 people really, really intrigued by it when we were doing that party. Metal Gear is another game where you can actually watch and be pretty. It's pretty interesting. There's a story. It's how you approach boss battles. It's one of the few games that you can watch and not have to play and be intrigued by.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, geez, the games are looking so good now. Metal Gear definitely. Even Resident Evil 4. I was switching off with a friend, and I didn't mind actually just sitting back and watching him play. Yeah.
It's so detail oriented. Like there's so much you can pick up by almost not even playing it, by watching it from afar and seeing.
I'm curious what about the gameplay that the girlfriend didn't like.
Yeah,
I wonder if it's the buttons were switched or she was just not into the killing and the.
Or maybe she wasn't patient, because Metal Gear really is all about patience for most people.
You do have to learn the scheme. I mean, like people like me and you who've been playing since the first one, it's kind of like a bike. You get it back after like a half hour. But if you haven't done it before. Especially with 3 and the overhead camera, you kind of have to. It takes a while to get used to. Okay, when you go off screen, you got to be careful, in this way, and when you sneak, this is kind of how you do it, and changing stances and stuff like that. You kind of. There's a language, a gameplay language that you learn.
Absolutely,
yeah.
And we also have to teach the player again with MGS4, like we do with every game, is that it's a sneaking based game. You can't play it like you did the E4All demo or TGS, where we gave you 30 rations. They're automatically
and a rocket launcher,
and a rocket launcher, javelin,
right?
For the the retail version, in that same spot that was in the E4All demo, unlike E4All where you had 30 rations, you're probably gonna have about 3, and so. I mean, if you do run and gun, you're gonna be toasted within 60 seconds. PMC's just gonna hunt you down.
Interesting.
So it might be tough for people who are used to playing this not sneaking oriented action games with the combat that feels really good. This is a concern, really. They pick it up and they try to play it just like they would any other game.
What if you're really good though? What if you're like hardcore?
No,
so
it's Metal Gear,
right?
Yeah, it's still stealth action,
right?
It says tactical espionage action on the top.
Sure, yeah,
and for a reason,
right? So let's take a question from somewhere other than America. Chris Miles from Canada asks, my question is, are there going to be as many secrets and goodies to unlock as there was in past games?
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
I don't know. We haven't counted. It's impossible to count almost at this point.
Right.
But yeah, there's lots of things that you can unlock, lots of things that are going to surprise you and become like a big buzz on the internet. It's going to be interesting. Because, like I said, back in 2004, the blogs and the internet, it was around, obviously, but I have a feeling that a lot of these things are become more topical on a day-to-day basis. Oh, this was discovered. Like, for example, if this was 2007 and Snake Eater came out, the end battle would be on the front page of some blogs, right?
Sure.
Or,
you're right. And the different way, or like, hey, did you know you can beat the end, like beating the end using just mines? I mean, the stuff that we were talking about with the past games and we're going to do in like a future show, there's stuff still from Metal Gear Solid 3 and I've read tons of things, seen up so many hours of movies, still things that I don't know, and that we were talking, there's things that you don't know, that you didn't know, like little secrets or optional ways of beating guys or just speed run tricks and that kind of stuff. So you're saying is like there is that stuff still in MGS4.
And to be completely candid, a concern of mine really is when I talk to press, after the game launches or when we're working on the strategy guides, is that I'm not 100% confident that I will know every secret in the game, because that's been a phenomenon in the series for the team for the past 10 years.
Right.
Nobody knows, except usually for Hideo, every single secret, and they come across it, they write it up as a bug, and then Hideo go by their desk and say, hey, by the way, this is on purpose. When you spin around Snake in MGS3,
right,
and then he vomits, that's not a bug.
Right.
That's a gag. Things like that, like nobody in the team knows, not even some of the programmers and stuff. It's really fascinating.
That's pretty cool. So everyone, when they're playing through like the final retail, probably like discovers some stuff that they didn't know, even though they worked on it.
I found something yesterday.
So that's cool. Well, here's another question. You mentioned strategy guides. Is your philosophy? I don't know if you know the Koji Pro philosophy, but is it to tell this everything in the strategy guide, give them everything possible that you know, or is it that
we don't really have much of a philosophy?
Yeah.
I think it's whatever publisher they're interested in doing, how they want to approach it, how thorough they want to be. Mm-hmm. As far as like secret routes and things like that, I want that all in the strategy guide. But like the cool gags, like the vomiting, or you can beat the end by resetting your timer on the PS3,
Right? Yeah.
or PS2, like
God,
things
I forgot about that. That's so crazy.
like things like that.
Yeah.
I don't want it in the strategy guide.
Yeah.
But for more gameplay oriented stuff, I think it should be like a complete package as best as possible.
Sure.
But then again, for the guys that come in here and do the hardcore play session for a week,
Right.
they're really, really smart guys, but even they can be here for 3 weeks and they probably won't find everything.
Yeah.
so.
Well, 3 years and not find everything.
Exactly.
Like yourself.
Yeah.
So should we do one more?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's skip this one.
Okay.
Let's skip.
Yeah.
We got to get out of here.
Yeah, and
But-
we did that. Or I mean, we could just end it now if you want to.
Can we end it on an email for my favorite poster on any internet forum
yes.
of all time?
Yes.
Robert Sun 21
This is your favorite internet poster of all time.
of all time on any kind of internet forum.
Wow. Okay.
I was kind
What
of
did he possibly say
love for this guy?
that would foster such feelings?
Well, first of all, he's a hardcore Metal Gear fan. That doesn't hurt.
Okay.
And-
And he's from Sweden,
And he's from Sweden. That's
which
number
also,
2, which
yeah,
is
is
very
a big
cool.
plus in your book.
Yes, and his avatar is not of MGS 1, 2, or 3. It's of the digital graphic novel.
Hardcore.
Very hardcore.
Okay.
And also he's an international playboy, and he's got these.
Have you had more correspondence? Because this is a very short letter. Have you been corresponding with this? Does he have your cell phone email?
No.
Okay.
It would be a pleasure to meet him and the twins at one point. But
And the twins.
did your dad ever buy that PS3? If so, what games did he get for it? The thing is, I already covered these things.
Wow,
so,
I can see why he's your favorite.
Yeah, so I already covered these issues, but I still put them on the show because I'm such a big fan.
Wow.
So don't be discouraged, Robertson. Listen to last week's show. And listen to this week's show. Come back with some more questions, and I'll try to answer them next week.
Yes, the answers he's looking for
Yes.
will be found there within.
Yes.
Yeah. That's amazing that he's your favorite, and he gets that way by asking you questions from last week's show.
He was probably busy. Being an international playboy is a full-time job.
I have to do some research to figure out what happened here. Did he save you from?
Maybe we can save that for next week.
Okay,
A
interesting.
little cliffhanger there.
Yeah.
So anything else anything you want to talk about before we wrap up?
No.
How's living in Japan? You're one of 3% of people in the world that is living in a country that you weren't born in. You're not a citizen of.
Wow.
Only 3% of the population.
That makes me feel special.
Yes, this is a good time.
But I'm excited to. Since you told everybody last week that I'm helping out in with Metal Gear 4, just like little unexciting stuff. I'm starting to get lots of emails and instant messages about oh, so you played it? What's it like? I haven't even
OMG.
played it yet or whatever. And obviously, once I do, I can't say anything. So don't bother asking me. Just
His lips are sealed.
I don't want to be a dick, but also I literally can't say anything at all. So I'll just kind of stand there.
You don't
but
want to know.
Totally, I don't think people do. I think so. Thank you for that. I'm getting lots and lots of that kind of harassment.
And thanks to the people who've written in recently and say that they're in a blackout too. They don't want to know too much about the game, but they like listening to the program, and that we've done a pretty good job of not spoiling too much.
Good, yeah.
And it's true. You don't have any idea what's coming out,
right?
Really,
right. And we're not going to. I mean, the last thing in the world that I would want to do is do that because I'm one of those types of guys as well.
Absolutely.
So I really understand that. Yeah.
So I mean, this is a good place to wrap it up, my friend.
Cool. Yes. Exciting week. Exciting things are afoot.
There are. And I hope to have you back next week for another exciting show.
Hope so. Yeah. Sounds good.